We turn to a man who does a fantastic job calling the Browns games on the Browns radio network. Plus, he's got Yahoo Sports inside coverage. And some days you just see him on Instagram walking on the beach, taking a nice leisurely walk on the beach. What a life. With you, talking sports. He is the man, the myth, the legend, Andrew Siciliano.
It's good to be Siciliano.
Hello, Andrew. How are you?
I don't know that there's a myth or a legend. I'm just a guy who's happy to be here. I'm just a man.
Just a man
sitting in his kitchen. Yeah.
Like any other man.
That's true.
Yeah.
Having a cup of Joe, feeling good, or maybe having some suds with some friends. There's nothing. What is it? Nothing makes you feel more like a man than no mustard. Yes. How about mayonnaise? I'm sure there's none in your house, right?
No, I love mustard. No, why would there ever be mayonnaise in my house? Are you kidding me?
I know. I'm sorry. We all know how you feel about mayonnaise. Yes.
Like, why would I put toxic sludge in my home?
Oh, man. The mayonnaise community is coming after you. You're going to be erased from the mayonnaise community, just so you know that.
Good. I was never in it.
All right.
Why would
you know who else was never in it?
Yeah, tell him, Andy.
Kenny Pickett. He was never in it. What do you think?
Oh, I don't think that's the case. I think he was absolutely in it.
We didn't get to see him.
We never got to see him. So, I mean, he was in it, except he didn't get the opportunity. He pulled his hammy. You know, the fascinating question to me is what would have happened if he had truly been healthy?
Yeah.
And would he have won the job? We're never going to know. I do know that there are plenty of people that were excited to see what he could do. He was 15-10 as a starter in Pittsburgh, and he had the one start last year, Week 17 for the Eagles. He wasn't always dealt the best hand in Pittsburgh, and I'm not a Kenny Pickett truther here, but you know, whether it was the OC, the O-line, whatever, right? The guy had a winning record. He had a bunch of fourth quarter comebacks, and I think that the Browns felt that they had a piece of clay here that they could mold and give him another shot, and that there was still upside, and he was still young, and he had a pedigree, obviously, coming out as a first-round pick. But it never happened. He got hurt, and you know what? I'm happy for him, and I think it works for both teams here, truly, guys. This is one of those rare win-wins. Pete Carroll said Sunday, I beg your pardon, that they needed an experienced backup, and they're looking anywhere because Aiden O'Connell broke his wrist, and he's out a couple of months. I thought Kenny Pickett, but there are a lot of moving pieces on the veteran quarterback market right now. And you got back the pick that you gave up. Actually, I'd frame it this way. You traded Dorian Thompson-Robinson for a 5, basically, because you gave up DTR and a 5 to get Pickett, and now you flip Pickett for a 5. So you basically, I mean, Kenny Pickett was just moving through your building. You flipped DTR for a 5, which a couple of years later is the original draft pick with which you took him. That works, doesn't it?
Yeah, isn't Josh Dobbs involved in this too? What do they get for Josh Dobbs? Was that a 5th? I thought Josh was
Josh Dobbs. I don't know. Josh Dobbs had nothing to do with this trade.
I know, but he might as well. I mean, something about that round and just making sure.
It's
just group tours of NASA involved with Josh Dobbs.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
The one thing you said, Andrew, and I agree with you, you never got a chance to see Kenny Pickett. Was it worth? Wouldn't you? I would have rather seen what he could do than go get a 5th-round draft choice.
Well, when were you going to see what he could do?
I was going to see what he could do if Joe Flacco got hurt or if Joe wasn't as effective as I wanted to be.
Which obviously was a scenario. But let's just play the hypothetical, because I hear what you're saying, but let's play the hypothetical. So let's say one of those two that you just mentioned happens late in September, early in October.
Yep.
Would you still be as excited to see Kenny Pickett? Or would at that point, and who knows what the win-loss record is, and hopefully it's positive and not negative, or at that point, would you and everyone else be clamoring to see one of the rookies?
I would still want to see Pickett because I included him with the rookies as a young guy who, by chance, perhaps could be a guy that I could have on this team for a couple of years.
And I think they thought he would have been the perfect bridge as well. And I think, as I just said, that they felt he had the upside. But now look, there's a logjam. Yep. As willing as they were as they were to keep 4 quarterbacks, it's easier to keep 3. We all agree. Nobody disagrees on that. So they're keeping 3. And I think Dillon Gabriel has proven, and that's the other side of the story here. You feel more comfortable trading Kenny Pickett when you see what Dillon Gabriel did. Granted, against a bunch of Rams that are heading to the practice squad, but what he did this past Saturday at Huntington Bank Field.
All right, so what is the path then for these quarterbacks in the future?
Depends how well Joe Flacco plays. Depends what the win-loss record is, right?
Right.
Jimmy Haslam said a month ago that at one point you do have to see what the kids can do. You do have the 2 number ones next year. Look, in a dream scenario, there's a magical Joe Flacco-led roll into January. We would all love to see that. He'd win another Comeback Player of the Year award. Can you win Comeback Player of the Year twice?
Sure.
Why not?
Why not? That would be amazing if you could.
It really would, actually.
That would be the comeback Player of the Year, wouldn't it?
That's the movie we'd all like to see.
Yeah.
Don't know if it's going to happen. I am bullish on what Joe Flacco can do in this offense, and I've been saying this for 6 weeks, long before he won the starting job, and it wasn't by default. Like, go back to Carolina 2 weeks ago with 8 quarterbacks there. The Browns had 5. Deshaun was actually on that trip, but obviously he was in street clothes. He wasn't playing. So between the 8 quarterbacks that were throwing passes that day in Carolina, Joe Flacco was the best. He was the best. On the other field, you had, what's his name, Bryce Young and Andy Dalton, who can still sling it a little bit, obviously. And then you had Jack Plummer, who just got cut. But of the 8 that were there, the oldest one there was the best. So let's go. Roll the ball out there against the Bengals defense that's been retooled that gets Trey Hendrickson back. I don't know that we're going to get a shootout. I think the Browns defense is going to have a good day, but then again, what's the secondary look like against Joe Burrow? I mean, this one's fun for me, guys. Like, I'm excited to see Joe Flacco.
I was hoping that whoever was a quarterback for the Browns would throw passes to Deontay Johnson. But apparently he showed in practice what he showed in the little bit of action he had in the preseason, Andrew, and didn't make the team. Are you surprised by that? Because I thought after what happened last year, if he was ever going to make a team, you would think he would have been ready to roll. Maybe he just doesn't have it anymore.
I would frame it this way. A month ago, I thought he was probably going to make the team. As camp progressed, look, he made some plays. He certainly did. And I think he still has the quickness off the line. He could still move. His hands were a bit suspect. I mean, in Philly, dropped one right on the goal line, led to a pick right between the 1 and the 6. I do think he could still play. I do think he had some value. I'm not here to trash the guy. I think I have always said this. I've always said that. Or always asked, how about this? Can he be relied upon?
Yeah.
Right. If you go into September and you have a game or 2 in which he's not getting the football, can he be relied upon? Deontay, everything I hear was, towed the line and actually, was a good teammate. Like, nothing bad to say. Nothing bad to say. But Gage Lardevan came on, and I like Gage Lardevan as part of this team, but still got to figure out the kick return thing as well. And then you added Isaiah Bond. Looks like DeAndre Carter's going to stick. I thought that was always going to be the case. That's why he finally played in the 3rd and final preseason game when all the other starters came out there. That tells you everything. When Isaiah Bond came in and you guarantee his contract, it becomes a numbers game, and maybe Deontay goes somewhere else and gets picked up and proves everyone wrong, but it wasn't going to be here once Bond signed.
Do you expect to see Quinshon Judkins anytime soon?
I don't know. I'm done predicting when we're going to see him. That's not to throw it back in your face.
I get it, Andrew.
Yeah. I just don't know where it is. It's a couple of weeks ago, I thought we would see him sooner rather than later. A couple of weeks ago. If you asked me that question 2 weeks ago, I would think it was sooner rather than later. When the legal situation, at least the criminal side of things, got wrapped up in Florida, I thought something would be imminent, but it's still not. What I am curious as well is, at roster cutdown day, how the NFL deals with discipline, not just for Quinshon, but for players around the league? Like, do they give teams clarity? DeMarcus Robinson, for example, in San Francisco, do teams get clarity at cutdown day? So maybe there's some movement in the next 24 hours, but that's just me speculating. I don't have any insight there.
Is Dustin Hopkins on this team after 4 o'clock?
It's a great question. My gut's gonna say no.
Ooh.
I think now. I don't know if it's Andre Schmidt. I like Dustin Hopkins. I'm just kind of reading the tea leaves. I don't know that they're moving on, but I do think. And let's go back to the Shedeur thing. And I'm not even gonna respect the online conspiracy nonsense. I mean, it makes my head hurt. But what no one wants to point out is that with the kicker question, it was really important to see Andre Schmidt get an end-of-game situation on Saturday.
So Jeff said.
Yeah, and Nathan and I talked about that in the moment in the booth, right? Like, hey, the Rams if this extra point goes in and the Rams take the lead, it's going to set up a situation. We weren't even thinking about the quarterbacks at that point. It's going to set up a situation where potentially the Browns could drive down the field and kick a winning field goal. And that's what we wanted to see. We talked about it the entire last 10 minutes of the game. And then Andre Schmidt did the job. You needed to find out, can Andre Schmidt, who had an exemplary college career, can Andre Schmidt be the guy you rely upon? Now, it's the final preseason game. Is it the same pressure as you would potentially face on September 7th at Huntington Bank Field? No, it's different. But they got in position, and a veteran quarterback was more likely to get you into position to see Schmidt kick, especially considering the way the previous 5 drives had went. And that, to me, is what all the screaming heads on TV don't understand the context on.
Rumblings that Pierre Strong is going to be let go today. Is that because Amani Marshall made the team, or because they're looking at who else is getting cut and bringing in another back?
That's a great question, and I don't know the answer. I've always been a Pierre Strong fan. Nathan and I both, actually.
Yeah, me too.
I think wide zone, you get him in space, and he finds a crease, and he's got some speed. We never really saw it happen. He's been a core special teams guy the last 2 years. He's practice squad eligible. But, there are teams that need running backs out there. The Houston Texans come to mind. I mean, there's some doubt in Houston that Joe Mixon even plays this year. So I would love to see him back. I think Amani Marshall, the blitz pickup where Flacco got sacked wasn't one to grow on Saturday from Amani Marshall. And that's the big thing with rookie running backs, whether it's Marshall, whether it's Pierre Strong, or whether it's eventually Quinshon Judkins, is can you be trusted in pass pro? Only the Browns know the answer to that right now, but I would love to see him. I would love to see him and Strong stick around.
Andrew, as always, thank you very much. You have an extra week now to prepare for Fact or Fiction on the Browns Radio Network pregame show, so knock it out.
Yeah, I mean, can we talk about this?
Sure. I got about
I enjoy
30
doing
seconds.
it. I truly enjoy doing it. Just the random there are no guidelines. You just, at the end of it, go like, and then randomly decide, A, to pick a winner, or B, just to I'm moving on.
Yeah,
almost as if it didn't happen.
Yeah. That's the rule, man.
He doesn't give out prizes either.
No, we do give out prizes.
No, that hockey thing doesn't fly.
Yes, it does. I have an old medal that was won by our kids in Pee Wee's, and I took tape and I put it on the outside of it, and I made it. Did you cherish the medal last year? Did you even win it last year? I can't remember.
No, I don't even remember. That's my point. It's like you go to a boxing match, and then at the end of the match, the judges just go, we're not going to pick a winner, and just go home.
I tend to think
that's what you do. You're like,
you being so close to Hollywood will remember the great Drew Carey show that originally appeared overseas, and then here, whose line is it anyway? Because the points don't really matter, and there really is no winner.
Andy's trying to do Wheel of Fortune without the wheel.
No, I'm trying to do. That's
what's going on.
I'm trying to do whose line is it anyway. I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. We give away free bags of air on the show.
Invest in the game if there's no winner
declared.
Just to get your knowledge. Andrew, we got to roll, man. I can't debate. We'll debate this on the next Fact or Fiction. How's that sound?
All right. Get out of here.
All right, go study. Go study. Andrew Siciliano, you know him, you love him. He is the voice of the Browns these days on the Browns Radio Network.